Cause I know exactly whose I am. Don't worry about it, homie, do you. Cause I've been rapping for a minute now. Used to walk around dead, but I'm living now. I'm just being myself. And evidently people gon' hate when you coming with a different sound. So don't question me about my thing. Just do your thing and be cool. Cause I know exactly whose I am. Don't worry about it, homie, do you. Cause I've been rapping for a minute now. Used to walk around dead, but I'm living now. I'm just being myself. And evidently people gon' hate when you coming with a different sound. They say.
What's up, my tokers, jokers, and smokers? Welcome back to another edition of the Daily Chronicles, y'all. Rodney in the building. Today, my guest today. How do you describe iconic in comedy? How do you describe, the ability to make someone laugh at 2 o'clock in the morning while they're drunkenly watching, Trailer Park Boys on Netflix? Truth be told, Trailer Park Boys got me through a lot of, highs and lows in my life. I owe my next guest years of gratitude, and I'm never going to be able to kind of, funnel that into one concentrated, line of anything. But I digress. He really needs no further introduction. I give y'all Jacob Rolfe from Trailer Park Boys. What's up, my dude?
What's happening?
What's going on, baby? How have you been, man? It's been a minute since we talked.
Yeah, no kidding. I've been good. I can't believe it's almost September, but hey,
the year went by fast, my man. It went by fast.
Hey, quick question. Is it okay to put rosin into like a little electric dab rig like this?
I would believe so, yes. What are you burning? Is it a glass or is it ceramic? Usually it is.
It's the little bowl thing is metal.
Yeah, you'll be fine then. Yeah, as long as you can heat it up and burn it off, I don't see an issue with that. I put rosin in a bunch of different shit. You got a whole basket full, my man.
Yeah, I just got sent a care package yesterday.
Ooh.
It's only started happening in the past year, but I reached a certain amount of notoriety that people send me weed in the mail.
Notoriety? Nah. How many years?
It's also
Trailer
legal.
Park Boys. Well, that's true.
Well, Trailer Park Boys had its 20th anniversary last year. So, 20 plus years.
20 years.
21 years now.
What do you think when you look back on that, though?
Well, I mean, it's kind of sobering, like looking at 2 decades, thinking about 2 decades having gone by, but it's pretty cool too. I mean, did a lot of cool Trailer Park Boys stuff, but also, life. I accomplished some things, I guess, a few tasks at least.
I mean, you've got more than just that going on. You've got Trailer Park Boys, in one hand, okay, and then you've got, the printing company in the other, the Dirty Burger Print Shop. I should be wearing my BAM hat, but it's in a box somewhere, and I don't know where I put it because I was organizing the studio. There's things I want to hang on the walls, and organizing. And now I don't know what happened to 2 or 3 boxes, but I know they're in my house, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Sure. But I can tell you this, and we'll throw it up right here real quick. We'll throw it up. I have these pictures in my house. Your art hangs in my house. I look at it every day. It's in my kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Right next to where my coffee mugs are. And it's in my hallway right next to where I have to take a piss.
I can't remember what pictures you have, but glad to hear it.
Yeah. You sent me, it was a grow your own picture because we that's something that we both do. We grow our own. How's that rosin working out for you?
It's good. Lots of smoke.
Lots of smoke. But we have that in common. And then, you sent me it was a couple pictures of Ricky. It was just Ricky and being silly and some cats. We'll throw it up right here. You'll see, after we edit all of this and stuff. But yeah, it's dude, I look at it every day and I find it's like the more I look at it, I would say like a cartoon version of like an MC Escher, if that's of any, substance to you.
Oh, yeah.
I
take that as a pretty nice compliment. MC Escher is the man for like trippy ass art.
Oh, absolutely. The stairs, especially the stairs behind you, and I see how like you take the stairs and go it down. Yep.
Yes.
Pan back to that real quick. Yep.
MC Escher-esque. Although there's no like optical illusion shit happening in mine.
Right.
Yeah. Like crazy stairs doing stuff is definitely an Escher kind of motif.
And then you do a lot of, I see you also incorporate, obviously, weed, you know, smokes and booze and stuff in the art there. I see you involve these characters from Trailer Park Boys as well. You know what I'm saying? And the way that you use their caricatures in the scenes that I've seen in the actual artwork itself, it's hilarious, man. Like that shit to me, I can take a couple tokes, look over and go, hell yeah, bro. Like it's a whole different meaning now. Like where did you come up with the idea for the print shop?
Well, I mean, all the art is created while I'm high. And it's, I guess it's sort of, not meant to be viewed high per se, but that is the best way to look at it. I mean, I've been doing art stuff off and on like my whole life, and I've been doing it like I guess I've been doing it and making screen prints and trying to like sell prints since 2007 is when I first started that. So slowly learning the ropes and growing my business, and learning the ropes again and learning the ropes again, as the case may be. But the Dirty Burger print shop itself, that I guess a couple of years ago, it was pre-pandemic, but a bunch of years ago, I thought about doing like Trailer Park Boys themed art, and I did a couple of drawings, and I just didn't really like them. I was like, I don't know, it's like too tough to draw people's faces. Like, I don't know. But then I ran into Mike Clattenburg, the original creator of the show with the boys, in the streets of Toronto, like, God, probably like 6 years ago or something now. He may have, I think he had already like left the show, sold it to the boys. But he was like, dude, you should make some Trailer Park Boys art. What are you doing? And I was like, oh, yeah, I know I should. Anyway, I finally started doing that a few years ago, like a year before the pandemic, roughly. And it quickly became my most popular and like best-selling stuff from my like online shop. And then so I just sort of embraced that, and I called my website, or made a new website and called it the Dirty Burger Print Shop, which is a Trailer Park Boys reference, as you well know. And so like I got like Trailer Park Boy stuff on there, and like non-Trailer Park Boy stuff, just my own trippy drawings or whatever, or fine art.
Right. It is, man. And art is in the eye of the beholder, however you look at it. Whether it's food, whether it's music, comedy in your case, or art. I think it's dope as hell. And honestly, and I'm gonna throw, I'll throw up a picture of I'm gonna find my BAM hat. Dude, I apologize that I lost it. I really do. I'm an asshole, but at the same time, I do have it. We will show it here to prove, but egg in my face there. But no, I like it. The only thing that like I wish is like, if it's cool with you, I want to bend the bill up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it's cool with you. I'm just saying. That's the only I don't like them too like in my face. You know what I mean? Like, I like the bill. But I don't like.
Bend away.
I have a weird head, I guess. I don't know. That's fine. An egg head, if you will. That's fine. But I noticed, man, like, you're doing a lot. You really are. And I know, it doesn't seem like it, but you're doing a lot. Like, you sit in a position in life where numerous people want to be. You know what I'm saying? And I know of all people in that position, my man, you were probably one of the most grateful. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were extremely fucking humble, dude. Seriously. And it's like the coolest thing to be able to be like, hey, how's it going in Nova Scotia? You're like, it's still fucking cold, but we're good. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the case, man. I'm so grateful to even be able to like, reach out to you and shit. I appreciate you coming on the show. I really do.
Cheers, man. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I feel like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
That's fair. That's fair.
If I seem like I have it together, I guess that's good.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. I mean, then begs the question of the nihilism, entering stage left, if you will. Who really has it together? And that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's all perspective, right?
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? And that's the point. So, put us in the mind of Nova Scotia cannabis wise, bro. Like, that's something that, you and I were kind of talking about in the green room a little bit and touching on. Like, in Nova Scotia, is it legal to, grow or cultivate your own cannabis as medicine or recreation?
It is. Yeah. Well, Canada went legal a few years ago now.
Right. Federally. Right.
what year was that? It's been like 3 or 4 years, maybe 3 years.
Dude, I don't know. I smoked. I took a dab, but yeah.
So yeah, folks you can grow 4 plants at home.
Okay.
And I currently have a few plants growing.
Nice.
Upstairs. I've got they're autoflower plants. Grown from seed. I had seed sent to me from Humboldt Seed Company and from another seed company called Mephisto. So I started them on the 1st of July. So they're 1 month and like 23 days old right now, and looking pretty good. I mean, they're well into flowering.
So, if you will, can we talk about autoflowers real quick? Like you feel me? I like autoflowers.
About them, but yeah, we can talk about them.
Well, I mean, I love autoflowers. So let's explain to people at home what an autoflower is real quick. Okay. So an autoflower. Okay. So you have your normal, your regular photosynthesis, cannabis. In that cannabis,
rosin, by the way.
One more time.
That was pretty good rosin, by the way. I'm pretty.
Word.
High, probably tell.
Oh, dude, yeah. Welcome.
I'm talking to people out there too. I'm like staring.
Oh, let them. I'm sure they're looking at you, same glassy eye, going, my man. Right. So an autoflower literally takes about half the time as a regular plant does. That's kind of the idea. It's a little bit more, a little bit less, depends on who you talk to, but roughly it's good to start with your thought process there and then move from that.
Well, even that, I mean, not to
no, do it.
I mean, before you even got an explanation going.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you just grew a regular seed and flipped it right away, it would be similar to an autoflower. Like if you flipped it after a week of growth. But yeah, the main difference is that autoflowers are triggered by time into their flowering, whereas photoperiod regular plants, they're triggered by the length of the day.
You said that so much better than I did. I'm sorry. I'm very wordy, and I appreciate you. When I write,
it's a different angle there. I mean, so they do usually, like autoflowers are always a set amount of time, and most people who are growing other plants don't start flowering them immediately. So yeah, they do take much less time than photoperiod plants generally do, but that's not inherent in the autoflowerness of it all. Like if you actually grew some plants from seed and just like grew them right into flowering, you'd sort of almost have an autoflower type. You could do that. Yeah. So I guess what I was going to say next, actually, it's this. Yeah, what I was going to say next is this. One of the main difference with autoflowers and your regular plants, I call them photos, is the photosynthesis. And I'll explain. So an autoflower, you really just need to stick it in good dirt, water the damn thing. It doesn't need a proper light. It's just going to grow. That's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Give it decent light. Literally, there are autoflower strains out there that I personally know of that you can just literally stick in dirt and put it in a corner of a decently well-lit room and it will grow. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth. That was why that strain was designed and that was, genetically altered that way. I was told by the person who did it, which was pretty fucking cool. Then there are regular plants that obviously you need to do this whole period. Now, with the regular plants, and this is where the conversation is going to go, and this is where I'm going with it. Sorry. Because there's just a lot of information, you got to get out. With regular plants, you have to initiate flowering, which is what you're talking about. So if you pop them into seed and then immediately threw them into flower, which is a different light cycle, that would trigger them to flower. They're gonna understand that because of that light cycle. So the plant knows the light cycle. Whereas with an autoflower, they don't give a shit. They're just growing. They're just going straight into flower. It's an auto flower. Exactly what the name says. Very long-winded, but some people have these questions, and these are questions that have been asked from me when I post, my plants and stuff online, showing people, they've asked these questions. And so the light cycles are different. There is a flowering light cycle with regular plants, and then there is a before that, a vegetation light cycle. The vegetation light cycle, is the longest, which is why in summer, right about now, people are growing outside. You know what I'm saying? When you grow outside like that, you get nature doing the light cycles for you, because as you notice, the summers, they get longer, so it does it for you. That's why if you're growing, and you grow all summer, we call it Croptober,
you know what I'm saying, here in America, because everybody in October, guess what they're doing? They're harvesting that crop because it's done. So that the light cycle's finished. If you grow inside, you have to mimic that light cycle of nature anytime that you grow. You see what I'm saying? With an autoflower, you don't need to worry about that. You stick the bitch in dirt and stick it in a decently lit place and it'll do it itself. It just goes straight to, there's no vegetation. Really, you know what I'm saying? Like so vegetation is like this long, flowering's like this long, you know what I'm saying? And then like, growing from a seed to a fucking, veg is like this long, right? An autoflower, it's like small, done. It's just...
Yeah, like if you're harvesting in October and like if flowering is about 3 months.
Right.
What's October minus 3? Like July? No.
It depends.
June. That would mean like flowering would start sometime late June, maybe.
Ideally, yes.
I think I'm getting a delivery.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it's a whole bunch of... I think it's my googly eyes that I ordered.
You ordered googly? It's the best thing you ever did. Googly eyes?
I start putting googly eyes on stuff.
Oh, yes.
I do like googly eyes just as a regular citizen, but I'm thinking about it as a as part of my business, like for stuff I sell. Like googly eyes will make it more trippy.
Well, yes, sir, it would. Yes, sir, it would. But no, autoflowers or regular cannabis, just grow it. Honestly, the truth is you're going to learn everything that you need to learn just doing it, and that is the truth, man. I feel that. Well, I feel that it's made me a better gardener.
Thank you.
Always thank your delivery workers. I don't care what you do. Even DoorDash, and I hate y'all. But the point is, it's not your fault. You don't. The workers are great, but the people set the prices at DoorDash. No, it's not talk.
We don't have those. We don't have those. What are they called? Programs or like services out here.
Delivery services, right.
I've never used those. They seem totally fucked to me.
They are.
I'm too cheap. Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
If I want a pizza, I'm going to make it first and foremost. And then if I don't want to make it, it's that night, that cheat night, I'm at least going to go get the damn thing. You know what I'm saying?
And then, but then those like a lot of those apps just take so much money from the restaurant. Yes. You probably know that very well.
That's why I don't like DoorDash. The percentages are ridiculous. It's insane. It's
like half the money or something.
Yeah, it's sometimes depending on where you are and all of that. I've seen it as high as 60%, and it's like you made more.
Though, it's not like you're still paying the menu prices and they're taking half. It's like they surcharge the fuck out of it and they're taking half the money from the restaurant.
So if you follow that blockchain, there's also one discrepancy that people are using to bitch about tipping servers or something, right? And it's stupid because it doesn't exist, but I want to point this out. And it got cold real quick on the internet. So if there's a blockchain for everything. So if let's say you do let's say you subscribe to DoorDash and you have something on delivery, let's say from, I don't know, a local restaurant you enjoy, right? Well, you have a delivery person that brings it from, the restaurant to your house. So you've got to tip them. And then sometimes restaurants will even, should you tip the server, the person that brought it from the kitchen to package it up for you? So the question is, how many people have to be tipped? Does everybody get tipped? I mean, the answer to that is always going to be a resounding yes. I'm never going to say no to free money, ever. And I think that, we should do that. But the fact
I never heard about tipping at the different stages of takeout delivery.
Well, if you go into a restaurant and a server brings your food from the table, they take your menu, you would tip the server when you go to the restaurant, right?
Oh, normal restaurant stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's also an issue. So servers are losing tips on stuff with a lot of these to-go, orders, and that's my point. So some restaurants have just tried to nudge them into the fucking blockchain. It's not working. Tip your server. I think that we should go back to out to eating. I honestly think we should start doing more home cooking, but that's just me. What do you think?
I eat in restaurants so rarely. Because here in the country, it's out of necessity, but there's no restaurants around where I live. In rural Nova Scotia here.
I gotta visit, man. It looks so beautiful.
Just being cheap, I cook at home because it's cheaper.
So can I ask you a question real quick? And maybe you can help me here, and maybe you know the answer. I mean, he is, after all, your fictitious father-in-law, so maybe you're a little close to him. But I used to watch a show when I was younger. It was called The Red Green Show. Are you familiar with that?
I'm familiar with it. I never watched it.
Okay. But you know what I'm referring to.
You got it. Yeah. Yeah, it was like a dude in his shed.
Yeah. It was like a little club or something. And yeah, it was very, very early. It was way before Trailer Park Boys. But I noticed that Ricky takes the hockey stick and clears everything off of, like a whole mess. You know what I'm saying? But that's the clearing stick, right?
Yeah,
if anybody watching this has ever watched Red Green Show, they know that that's where that came from. It had to have been. Or is that just how Canadians clean?
Oh, did Red Green do that?
He did.
Yeah. Then I wouldn't be surprised if that was stolen or borrowed or an homage to.
Homage is really the word I was looking for. Yeah. But no, I was interested to know because I was like, wait a minute, and then I, watched Trailer Park Boys episode here and there. I've seen them all. Let's face it. And I go back and watch my favorite, and I still like the one with Cyrus and Ricky arguing in front of you, and you're standing there as a cash station person going, can you not whip out guns in the store? Like, what's going on?
Season 1, episode 1, I believe.
Yeah, that was way back then, man. That was 20 years ago, brother.
Well, yeah, we recorded that like 22 years ago.
Yeah.
Because it didn't come out till the summer after. And yeah, every year it's getting older.
I look at it this way, like, that's a hell of a fucking start to life. You know what I'm saying? That gives you the ability, it's freeing, because I can only imagine like leaving set, like you want to decompress and you want to do these things. And I would only assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, that cannabis was a part of your life then as much as it is now, correct?
Yeah, it was.
So it's just kind of like, you were living proof, my dude, that like, stop stressing about bullshit on the internet. Stop stressing about everybody else. Worry about making yourself happy.
I mean, sometimes, it's time to have an argument about something or, not go any further in certain situations.
There's a precedence present, right?
Usually doesn't matter.
You're right, man. I don't care, how many people tell you were right, dude. And I appreciate it. That's really where I'm going.
You know that and still be like sucked into like, what the heck's this person saying? Like,
it's hard. It's because they're just trying to get a reaction. And when they get that reaction, they go.
And it's just human nature to react to stuff constantly. I mean, that's what you're doing. People are doing 24/7. You're just like, you're reacting
to stimuli.
Not always like, sort of negative, internet comment stuff, even if it's like, ooh, I want to have, you think of, donuts. And you're like, oh man, I want donuts.
Right.
I mean, that could be a good experience and like, giving you dopamine, but it's still this constant, desire reaction back and forth, or, that just is human nature.
And
thoughts,
it is even smoking weed, there's a reaction. Even doing shrooms is a reaction. And so we react to those things differently. You're absolutely right, my dude. I ask you though, and I was just speaking of shrooms, do you dabble with shrooms, or do you like shrooms?
I love psychedelics, but I've only been doing like tiny, like, I guess, sort of micro doses or other small doses recently.
Okay.
I really want to like go and do a proper like trip
dose. Right.
It's just like,
what's your biggest microdose?
I got around to it, or made the time for myself. Like,
right.
I feel like you need to be in the right frame of mind. I feel I'm a bit too like sort of pulled in different directions. Or
that's what they say. That's what they say. Like,
do you dabble?
I do, and that's why I was like, I wanted to tell him, about how do you, I do, man. And so my buddy, obviously, he's a mycologist. This is the truth. He turned me on to mycelium. There are some, I'm sure you're very familiar with Netflix at this point. There are some good documentaries on Netflix. They're actually really resoundingly informational.
About change.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Changing Your Mind is one of them. You should, because they don't just talk about shrooms. They talk about ketamine and mescaline. I'm sorry?
Is that Michael Pollan?
I don't remember his name. I was high when I watched it, but I will let you know.
Who wrote a book called that? So this
it could very well be then. He's an elderly chap, right?
A bald
That's
dude?
him. Yeah, that's him. That's him.
Alien looking. Yeah.
No, that was, dude. You should watch it. You would fucking be like, okay.
I've read the book, or at least part of it. I think it's actually on my Kindle. I haven't finished it. I got high.
Can I suggest another one?
Sure.
Mycelium Running.
Cool.
Yeah, I will send you a screenshot of it later. You know, I'll send it to you or whatever. And that book right there, everything's connected, homie. Like underneath, like, so you got a forest, right? You got trees and mushrooms and aminals and everything.
I've heard about like mycelium like networks throughout the planet Earth.
So have you seen? Okay, this is James Cameron shit way back in the day, but have you seen the movie Avatar?
I did. Yeah. Long time
So you
ago.
remember when they're like walking in the forest, and when they step, each step is like a water ripple on the floor. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I remember like that specific like.
Sorry.
Yeah. I can imagine.
But that's when I think of mycelium after reading that book. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? As metaphysical as that is, and I was high, but I wasn't like, you know, tripping or anything. But it makes you like hike different. It makes you more appreciative. It absolves you of like all the, you know, toxicity and bullshit of life. It seriously does, you know.
Being
And
high on shrooms.
yeah.
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 It can be pretty liberating to
What's your biggest microdose?
usual day-to-day drudgery or frame of mind.
Mhm.
What's my usual what?
Microdose.
Oh, about 1/200th to 1/300th of a hit of acid.
Okay. So that's low. That's low.
I was doing some shrooms as well. Someone sent me some like chocolate bars with shrooms in them that were broken up into 12th.
Okay. So whatever a 12th of that is.
It's like a 12th of a gram, maybe, of mushrooms as which could be more than a micro, depending on the shrooms.
Right. Do you have a favorite strain of shrooms?
No, I don't really know the strains of shrooms yet. No,
I'm just learning, so that's why I asked.
Yeah, I mean the classic ones we had in high school, and the only ones I really know, although I've tried some other ones, I think, like the thick blue stems, they're really fuzzy.
Okay. Huh. No, I'm not familiar with that, but I'm sure my college dude, I'm probably gonna, you know, share this. So he's probably going, oh, and he's screaming the name.
Caps in there too, little yellow caps, but like the stems seem to be what people was where the action was, at least.
Okay.
We thought.
Makes sense.
And they'd be pretty blue. Oh, someone told me recently that the blue was like signs of where that, like, the blue wasn't the actual like psilocybin or whatever. That was just signs of damaged mushroom,
like it being touched or something.
Yeah, but like one that was all extra blue wouldn't mean you're going to get extra
bruised
high.
or something.
Although
right?
we definitely, like, you know, more blue was more high. We thought back in high school. Yeah.
That's just crazy.
I don't know any types of different types of mushrooms really. Oh, there was also Liberty caps, like the tiny little ones you would pick off, like cow shit. But those two I only had like once or twice, and they were relatively mild. Like I didn't take enough of them, I guess. But I've heard those can be pretty intense.
Yeah,
you know, any mushroom in sufficient dosage could be pretty friggin' intense.
Well, I mean, each person reacts differently, you know, whether it be alcohol, whether it be weed, whether it be shrooms, whether it be ketamine, you know. And so
the same person at different times.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I've noticed that, like, okay, I have ADD like a motherfucker, you know. I'm just special. Okay. But the point is, I sometimes can't remember to you know, go and measure my doses of shrooms out, measure my microdose and stuff like that. So instead, my friend that does a mushroom mix for me. It's not just psilocybin, it's reishi, it's lion's mane, it's, you know, a bunch of different mushrooms, and it's a little like a vitamin pill. You can go to the vitamin store, order them offline, and dry it all up, grind it, and fill the capsules. I take one of those every morning like a vitamin, and I tell you this, like, I've seen literally just microdosing through the last 90 days of my life.
Whoa.
I see the world completely different.
So you do it bit of mushrooms every morning. Oh, okay, wow.
Every day.
Yeah, I haven't done microdosing and kept to a regular schedule at all. Like, I've tried to a couple times, like a 1 every 3 days kind of thing. But even that, I was like, I don't think I've ever done it 3 times in a row. I would like go off schedule.
It helps me focus.
Huh. Yeah. Excuse me. Maybe I'll try it again. I've microdosed for a while. It's been like a couple months, I think.
So my microdose isn't anything. It would be, let's see, it would be 0.0. I think I'm at 0.05. You know what I'm saying? So,
and what kind of mushrooms? Not that I'll know what that means.
Oh yeah, I think they're called golden teacher's pets.
Okay, I've heard of golden teacher.
Yeah,
yeah. I was trying to think of that.
One of those two. Yeah, it's something like that. But but there's also, but at the same time, and I had the same conversation with him, and he's watching right now. I know he is. It's more than just that. It's lion's mane, like I said, reishi, turkey tail. It's a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. That sounds like a good little, like a mix of some non-psychedelic ones.
Correct.
Yeah. And do you get like a distinctive mushroom feeling in your body or head from that dosage?
For me, man, and again, I can only speak on personal experience. This is just what I experienced.
And we all.
It took the anxiety out of shit. I mean,
that's great.
There's reactions to things, and stuff like that, but those fade. That's the truth. There's scatterbrained thoughts, but that's probably because I, drove 3 dabs in the brain. So it's just like, how's the day? How's your Monday, really? But I don't know, man. Like, I'm really getting into this, like, plants and shrooms and stuff over pills. I got sick of taking, a Red Bull and a coffee and an ibuprofen in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a sustainable life right there.
Yeah,
that's breakfast. And it's just like being able to, and that's why, like, Trailer Park Boys and what you did was so fucking important to me, man, because there would be nights where I would be drunker than shit. You know what I'm saying? And like turn on Netflix at my house after work and stuff. Instead of going out and drinking and driving, I would tune in and be like, all right, what's the boys up to now? Or what kind of antics? Or, I would have this scene in my head where, like, Yell was wrestling in the Green Bastard, made the makeshift wrestling rink and shit. And like that stuff was important to me, dude, because it was just like, yo, this shit's funny, man. It's hilarious. It has intrinsic value. Like, you can't, I wish there was more. I really do, but what there's so many movies and everything. Like, dude, I remember in the movie you busted Julian and the one chick while she was showing him the new bra that she stole or something like that, and they were smoking weed. And I was like, how painful must have that scene have been for him, stomping that joint out? You know what I mean? And him being, an advocate for cannabis now. But dude, I again can't thank you enough for coming on the show, my brother. Like, you have a art and dope tour coming up this fall. Like, you've been talking about a little bit. What's that?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to Ontario, and I'm going to do some meet and greets at a few dispensaries. Places.
Hell yeah! Still kind of throwing it together, or
very much. Figuring out dates and locations and just like what I'm doing. I did a couple of like solitary things like this earlier in the year, and like they were successful. I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but just a way. I guess dispensaries didn't exist, and so it's sort of a match, a good match. What am I trying to say?
Yeah,
I'm stoned all of a sudden here.
Hey, it's that rosin, isn't it? Oh shit! Oh, that was the ninjas catching the catch of everything. It was amazing.
I didn't catch the nail and that.
Well, I'd rather that fall than
the nail is
So funny story. I use a huge propane tank as my igniter just because, like, I've always used them, you know what I mean, in kitchens. If I need like a baked Alaska real quick or something, you know what I mean? And it's cheaper too, but that's just me. And I was moving it across the table and I nicked my banger. And when I nicked my banger, it like knocked the whole, I didn't think I hit it that hard, and it knocked the whole piece out, and my banger fell out, slid across my floor, and then hit the edge of my like table, and then it broke open. Like, it just, like, where it hit and then it's broken 2 pieces. I was like, how does that happen? I had pictures of it. I don't know where they went, but it sucked. And I literally had a dab ready to go, and that was my only banger.
Yeah, fuck yourself, bud.
I did. Luckily, I had a nectar collector, but it's not the same, and you know it. But, dude, let's talk a little bit like about life in Nova Scotia. Like, it seems so foreign to me, yet it's not that far away, man.
Yeah, you've never been?
Never. I hope to.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's ocean and forest. I mean, I don't know. It's not different. I don't think it's different from life anywhere else. Like the urban rural difference would be as much as big as anything else. But yeah, I mean, like ocean. If you live near the ocean, that's a pretty dominant feature of life here in Nova Scotia, which I do.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously we have some mutual friends up in Canada, and we've become a part of each other's lives, and I've seen this different part of the world that I'm just like, yo, this looks sweet. Let's go eat there, and I've seen like the wide open ocean, coastlines of Nova Scotia in pictures and videos and stuff. And it draws me in, man. And then I was watching your stuff on YouTube with the paddleboard and the parks and shit. And again, that drew me in, all of it. And so then in my mind, when I parallel that with like, oh dude, the fresh seafood there is probably got to be killer. It draws me in immediately. And then Newfoundland is another place that I want to visit. Have you ever been there?
Oh yeah. I lived there for 5 years.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, Newfoundland's awesome. I mean, the coast here in Nova Scotia is beautiful and fine, but the coast in Newfoundland is spectacular. Like there, you got like way more crazy ass cliffs and shit. Here you got.
Do they really
coastline? There, it's like
nice.
But death drop.
Like the cliffs in Ireland, if you will, the Isle of Giants.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably gradual coastal areas on Newfoundland too, and there's crazy cliffs here in Nova Scotia and places. But yeah, like around St. John's where I lived in Newfoundland, it's more of a sort of what you might think of as Ireland style, like cliffs.
They speak Newfie there, don't they?
I mean, there's a particular dialect of English. Yeah. Like a lot of people there don't like the term Newfie. They take it as disrespectful.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I don't personally, but I wouldn't be throwing the term around myself.
What is the correct term then?
Oh, I mean, Newfoundlander.
Okay, Newfoundlander. Okay.
There's probably folks, I mean, Newfoundlanders might call themselves Newfies, and maybe young people who knows what the fuck they're doing these days. But at least in some circles, that's like totally frowned upon because it was like there were Newfies were seen as like uneducated amongst certain parts of Canada at times, and so they were like a butt of a lot of Newfie jokes, and so the term Newfie sort of became derogatory. Okay. So yeah, some folks don't like it. Other folks wouldn't give fucks if you used it. Hey
man, I apologize. I appreciate you correcting me on that. I didn't know. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
TV show from Canada, so I just assumed that it was fine to say. How American of me. I apologize, man. Yeah. Seriously.
So yeah, Newfoundlander. You got to add a couple of syllables in there.
A couple more letters, if you will.
I would love to go visit Newfoundland. Again, like since I've moved away from there, like probably 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. I've only visited once, and I live pretty close to it now. Just one, boat ride away. And
how long? Like how far is it from you?
Well, from here it would be like something like maybe a 4-hour drive, then a 12-hour boat ride, then a bunch more, maybe 10 hours of driving to get to St. John's across. Okay. But it'll only be a couple hours flight.
Fair enough. No, Newfoundland like definitely drew me in. I look at it as it's interesting because I have cousins and family in Ireland. So when I talk to them, and then I'll watch a little bit of like Trailer Park Boys, especially in Nova Scotia or Newfoundland, you can see how like there's this Irish like Gaelic dialect that happens in that specific part of of America, and it's very profound in Newfoundland, I should say.
Oh yeah, the like Newfoundland English, the accent
like stogs on our boys. Yeah,
you're so thick sometimes you don't know what the fuck the person's saying. It was less like distinct in the city, St. John's, where I lived.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's great. It's like really. Oh, I just knocked my teeth.
You're all right.
It's really something to. It'd be cool to like go online. I don't know of a good example of it to recommend, but yeah, Google like Newfoundland English dialects and see if you can find a good example. People watching.
There is a great example, and I will plug it shamelessly, 100%. Watch Letterkenny. Okay. In Letterkenny, they have actual, Newfoundland people playing hockey. It was one of those episodes.
All right, yeah,
and it's just like a 2-minute clip real quick of them speaking Newfoundland to each other. And that was it's good. It's funny. It's hilarious. And it's great.
Yeah, there's both like they have a weird accent, but also a bunch of like slang
terms, right?
So it's like double whammy. Yeah.
If you know, you know. I like but that's not really what I want to know right now. I want to know something like what is the main, like if I go to Nova Scotia and I'm looking for a dish that tourists don't normally ask for, but that makes me like closer to being a Nova Scotian than them, if that makes any sense. Like, what am I looking for? Like, I'm not a typical tourist. Don't send me like, oh, there's McDonald's or there's just, this place. What am I going to do in Nova Scotia?
You're like food wise,
what is there to do? Like, convince me to jump on a plane right now and land in Nova Scotia.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, I moved here 6 years ago, and I haven't explored Nova Scotia much at all myself.
Fair enough.
I'm not from here. I don't know it that well. I lived previously in Halifax for like 5 years.
Okay,
back around in the 90s, like in early 2000s, in the early days of Trailer Park Boys.
Right, that's where it was filmed.
And right? I had no car. I hardly ever left the city. Like, so I mean, yeah, I don't know what like. I have no secrets about Newfoundland,
okay,
or Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia, yeah.
I don't eat seafood.
Yeah. Okay.
Other than fish and chips once in a while,
right.
I can handle. But
I bet you they're deadly out there. I bet you they're just delicious.
What is
the fish and chips?
Yeah. I mean, you get good fresh, fresh fish cooked well. So yeah, they tend to be decent quality. I mean, fish and chips should be good anywhere. Although right. I guess it isn't necessarily. But yeah, they do it well here, as they should.
One of the things here in Michigan, being surrounded by the Great Lakes, is we have really good fish and chips because we have a lot of freshwater fish that is, sourceable. My question though, and I can kind of, tell a little bit of a sense here on your face. What is your diet? Are you vegetarian, vegan, or what's?
I eat meat like on occasion.
Okay.
But I don't cook meat at home, basically.
Okay.
And I almost always cook at home, so I eat very little meat.
Well, yeah, and that's my question. I'm very curious about that. I'm not a person to judge against anybody unless I'm cooking in a commercial kitchen and people come in and order the pasta and see that it's not gluten-free and then tell me they're gluten-free. Like that's kind of half of that's on you. You know what I mean? Like, talk to me first, or maybe don't order that. Or did you really have to eat a half of it before you told me? Like, there's customer service, but that makes me very curious about other people's diets. You know what I'm saying? That way I could be more knowledgeable thereof,
Yeah, I mean, I do like lots of bean dishes, I guess, and salads, or like I do rice and veggies and a tasty sauce.
Okay.
But I mean, to get back to, something that you could eat here in Nova Scotia that's not like the standard like seafood or a donair.
Right.
Like a common restaurant dish in like classic Nova Scotia restaurants is like a hot turkey sandwich or a hot whatever sandwich.
Okay. Which
is a plate where you got, how do they do it exactly? It's like bread and then your turkey or like maybe a hamburger patty or
right.
What else would it be? Maybe chicken, whatever your meat choice is.
Right. Insert protein here, really. That goes good with gravy, right?
And then they pour a bunch of gravy on top, and there'd be some like peas on there, and then like a side of fries, maybe some kind of little salad on the side of some sort, like a coleslaw, or maybe a lettuce, like a leaf type salad, almost like a garnish style though. I mean, that's a classic old school Nova Scotia meal.
That's mind blowing. That's exactly the answer I wanted. And here in the United States, just a little tidbit for you, it's actually called a hot Kentucky brown.
Yeah, I've never heard that. So yeah, here it's like a hot, like if you look up hot turkey sandwich, you'll see it's like a platter with a bunch of the things on it. I haven't had one of those since probably like the 90s when I lived in Halifax. Like we used to go to this local place and it'd be cheap, like $5 for like giant.
Get it? It's fit, fit for a king.
God, you might even get some like what would be called stuffing on it, like bread stuffing, basically, bread and spices and fat.
Hell, dude, that sounds amazing. That's my point. I mean, but at the same time, like, I am curious, like, with meat being the way, the cost that it is, it wouldn't hurt me, to be honest with you, to substitute that for beans for a couple of days. And you're absolutely right. Or to substitute that for
I mean, you cook, well, I assume you cook at home as well as like professionally. Like maybe you don't cook at home much, like a lot of cooks don't like doing because they cook so much.
It depends.
But like, do you tend to cook with meat almost always?
I mean, yes and no. It depends. Like, I might have hamburgers one night, do them myself. Now, when I do hamburgers, I might do a venison burger that's got a little bit of, a pork content, or mix my red meats together. I'm sorry?
So you cook with multiple meats?
Yeah, sometimes. And at the same time, I should say this, like, I can cook without meat. There's nights that I had zucchini boats. You know what I'm saying? Like I hollowed out some zucchini and put stuff in it, and it was like a vegetable medley, and it was really, really good, flavorful. Yeah. There's a lot of dishes that you can cook without meat, like ratatouille. I mean, that is amazing. It's a blissful dish, very swanky, if you will, but very simple. It's just time consuming because you have to stack it the right, proper way, Does
that normally have meat in it, ratatouille?
No,
it's normally a non-meat dish.
No meat in it. No, it's a vegetarian dish. You can put meat in it if you would like, but then it's not a ratatouille technically. But then technically it is, so it depends on who you ask.
Yeah, I don't know ratatouille. I don't think is it pasta and tomatoes or something like that?
It's tomatoes and sliced vegetables inside of like
zucchini, some zucchini in there.
Zucchini, yep. Zucchini, squash is commonly used. People put onions in theirs. Like it really.
Is like it's a squash soup or stew kind of thing.
So, have you ever had a caprese?
A what?
Like a caprese.
Oh, that word might sound familiar. I just want to look up ratatouille here.
You're good. It's also a movie, so there's gonna be a mouse that pops up.
Oh yeah, that I've heard of. Yeah.
And it's funny because like in the movie they make ratatouille. But anyway, so it's basically just like the stacking, horizontal wise.
Here. One of them is all stacked, like where it's all like rotating different vegetables, and there's three of them where it's just like a giant mixed, crazy ass looking stew.
Yep.
Yeah.
The one where it's like sliced thin and like they're stacked and stuff. That's the one I'm talking about. But that's really good. I like to put eggplant in mine sometimes. There's certain tricks of the trade I won't disclose there. But
oh shit! I can't frame that properly. Oh, now it's a video. It's a good ad popped up. Internet's
all right. I'll throw up a picture right here of ratatouille for y'all.
It's like that looks like a. But yeah, actually, this morning I woke up super early at like 3 or something. I must have, I ate it. These guys who sent me this package of drugs. For 110 milligrams, and I think I took one.
Oh no!
To sleep like right around down. I woke up really, and I woke up and I knew I was just like not going to go back to sleep. So I got up and came down and did some cooking, and I made actually saying I don't cook meat at home. I actually bought some bacon, and so I do bacon once in a while and sausages on rare occasions. So like the easy one, but I got the bacon mainly because I wanted to get the bacon fat to make like Happy Town style split pea soup with. And so last night I made some pea soup with yellow split peas, and I made a batch with green split peas, slightly different recipes, which are on the stove right now.
Hell yeah, man! How long? Like, what's the recipes you're doing? Like, you're letting them cook on. Like, what are you doing?
Man, they take a long time. They took longer. I think it was the yellow split pea one. It was like you fry. You don't have to fry the the onions on off the top. I just fried up the veggies, so like some celery, onions, and carrot, which I blitzed in the Food Pro just to make them like pretty minced.
So there's your mirepoix right there.
I fried that in the fat. Is that the mirepoix?
So a mirepoix is your celery, onions, and carrots. It's like the holy trinity. Yep.
All right. So yeah, I fried those up and then just added water and the split peas and salt, bay leaf, and some thyme, I think. And then they said simmer it for an hour and a half, but I had to go more like over 3 hours to break down the peas. I'm not even sure. I turned it off because I didn't want it to burn while we were talking.
Right.
I'm not even sure. Like the peas were really retaining their shape. I don't know if they're super dry or what. But they eventually turned into like super smooth, like just pea soup, like almost an homogeneous, like starchy sludge. There's a bit of like pea clump in there still.
Which sounds disgusting, y'all. It's not. I promise you, it's really good.
It looks like gruel, and there's definitely a gruel quality to it. But the green split pea soup, it had a bit of barley in it as well, but that one looks like gruel big time.
You're not selling it to anybody right now.
I was like, oh, this tastes like fucking crap. But then I added more salt and then I put a bit of ghee in it and got the fat content up a little bit. And it was really nice. So yeah, like without enough salt, it was very gruelish.
It's interesting because I've had different, mentoring other cooks and chefs, you taste other soups over the years. You've made soups, blah 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 blah. I've had some that have definitely had a gruel quality to them. There are some people who butternut squash soup. It's very common in the Midwest here. I've had it, and I'm just like, there's chunks of things, and that's an unidentifiable.
I love a really smooth butternut squash soup,
right?
Like with a.
It should not be chunky. Yeah.
As you well know, something that's undersalted is going to be very disappointing, and like a lot of veggie stuff can be, if it's like under fatty, that can it can feel like something's missing, and so I've been adding like starting with the pig fat is a special treat with these soups. That was just me. But adding ghee at the end to like anything like dish basically is a way to really like add like awesomeness to it. For a term, like
you're adding. So ghee is butter for people that are really stoned right now going, what's ghee? That's a type of butter. It's a clarified butter.
Extra tasty butter, and you can overdo it. And which is also like, it does have a taste that is really quite satisfying. Ghee is what they used to put on popcorn in the old days.
Yep.
And then they switched to like vegetable fat margarine. But if you get some ghee and taste it, that's like the classic popcorn butter. So it's like pure butter fat. It's like if you take butter and like simmer on the stove and then just scoop off all the solids, then you'll be left with the ghee. And
that's
it's like
clarification,
and it's but it's got a very distinctive, rich quality about it. It's used in Indian cooking a lot, and
Indian cooking. As a matter of fact, it's used everywhere, man. I don't want to just like do it justice in just Indian cooking, brother. It's used everywhere. It's just not called ghee. It's clarified butter. So if anybody sees, any cook, chef, home cook sees clarified butter and ghee, that's the same thing. So if you're like, hey, could I save money by just buying real butter myself and clarifying it down to that amount of ghee? Yes, that is the answer.
It will work. I don't know if you'll save any money doing that.
Some people will. So it depends on your area. Like for me, it's cheaper to go buy butter in bulk. You know what I'm saying, here at like my local groceries market, because it's not terribly priced, and it's a good butter. You know what I'm saying? It's a farmer's market that turned into a huge shop, so that's kind of the whole thing there. But man, like
butter, and then maybe it would be worth it. And
you need a good fat content for sure.
It's cool to see how it works and like where it comes from. But
so you use bacon grease sometimes, though?
I doubt you'll save much. Yeah, like once a year, basically, I'll buy some bacon. Yeah,
I actually. Butter is becoming more expensive here in the States. So when I cook my bacon sometimes, and that's the truth, I'll save the fat from that, because you can use that fat as butter if you need to when you don't have butter. You know what I'm saying? Being a meat eater, I'm going to at least pay honor and respect to the animal and use it as much as I possibly can. You know what I'm saying? That's just...
pig fat's got such a...
And it's good for you. It's good for you every now and then. You know, we got painted proof here. You want to end up like Jacob? Do it once a year.
I got farmers. I was at the farmer's market, and I got some nice farmer's market bacon.
Dude, I would love to go to a farmer's market with you. Smoke a couple J's in parking lot. Go over to a farmer's market and just talk fresh food, brother. I feel like that's a day right there.
Well, yeah, you have to come over to Scotia and have a hot turkey sandwich, and we can hit the farmer's market. That
right there, and just looking at the ocean, smoking a joint, man. That I don't care. People can have Maseratis. That is happiness to me, my man. That's the truth.
Maseratis, oh my god!
I don't even listen.
One thing I feel like I've got to learn these lessons over and over again. But what I'm working on now is trying to earn as least money as I can. Hold on, wait, back up a bit. Fly my lifestyle so I can learn as least money as I can, so I don't have to pay a bunch of taxes. Because once you get over the minimum here, and like whatever, like they start charging a tax at, which is maybe $25,000. Then you're just having to give so much money to the government that it's such diminishing returns that I got to try to basically live at the taxation line. Do I
detect hints of anarchy there? Is that little bouts of anarchy?
It's not so much. I mean, I do agree with a lot of anarchist philosophy, but where I'm coming from is just like working 20 hours a week.
I feel you. Yeah.
And it's this trap. Like it's too hard to do that and be able to like have a Maserati or have any kind of like expensive thing. So you got to like reduce your, I'm talking about this like in a very confusing way, it seems, but you got, in a nutshell, reduce your costs and simplify is
correct. Correct. A lot of people would be, say that's an oversimplification of a conservative, but that's not the point, and a conservative, there's a difference between conserving your life and limiting certain things and stimuli and having more of a life to work ratio as what you're trying to say versus, earning a shit ton of money and not being taxed appropriately on it and throwing a country into, poverty. But the point is,
even the tax thing was getting like away from the point is like, you just get sucked into working full time, which is what I've been doing. I mean, part of it is because of the pandemic and shit. But once costs get to a certain thing, you got to start to earn more money. But then you're stuck. Then to earn that money, a certain amount is being taxed. Oh, here I'm talking about taxes again. So you got to earn even more. But then you're being sucked into working like 40 hours or more a week, which is exactly what I don't want to do. And I just can't do it like anymore. I find it just fucking ruins my quality of life. And so I got to swing the other way, get it back down to something reasonable, like 20 or 30 hours a week. And
there you go.
Simplify my lifestyle accordingly to, be able to afford it, I guess.
It's a shock though. It really is.
Yeah. Part of it is living in the country and not eating in restaurants.
That's the truth. That's the truth. And I'll be honest with you, man, like I cook at home as much as humanly possible. And I don't consider myself a professional chef anymore. I'll be honest with you. But I've earned it from certain people, and I look at it as a respect thing, and I appreciate that because I put in the years and the time. I'm a home cook at best now. I will openly say that I'm a cook, but I like to consider myself a home cook because, quite honestly, and I know you know this from film, like when you're a chef and you make a new dish, all right, say you make a duck à l'orange really well, all right, now you have to take that, plate that you spent so much time on, figuring out and obsessing over and do it 1,000 times.
Oh God, yeah. That aspect of being a chef must be a nightmare.
So when people ask me, hey, what's your favorite thing to make? And I simply look at them, anything I don't have to. Because that's the truth of it. Like I've cooked, and there's a lot of things like, like with more ratatouilles, whether it be ratatouilles or Kentucky brown sandwiches or hot open face sandwiches. There's a lot of things that I have cooked that I didn't know were hot items. A Kentucky brown is a very, very, very cheap, underwhelming, quote unquote thing here in the Midwestern America, specifically the South. People make them all the time. Whereas It's a fucking thing. It's a huge thing in Nova Scotia. So I'm like, all right, now I get it, you know? And you mix that with small little bouts of anarchy from our friend Jacob here, and that's the place to be, man. But, dude, Nova Scotia, my man, like, it's enticing. It really is. I think I was hooked when I started watching y'all do your thing in Halifax, you know, and now I want to, you know, try and make my way up and down that coast. I want to see these places, and the truth be told, man, it's going to happen. I can't wait for it. Seriously.
Yep, come on down, check out the coast. We're almost an island, Nova Scotia. We're just connected to a little bit to New Brunswick, so it's otherwise, you know, we have 355 degrees of coastline, and then 5 little chunk of it's like that's at the Tantramar Marsh that connects Nova Scotia to New Brunswick.
That sounds like a forbidden place in D&D.
They probably have to use to do take an old marsh boat across or something, but
that'd be dope as hell.
Yeah, no,
that'd be dope as hell.
You just drive right across.
Hell yeah! Well, dude, we can sit here and talk for hours. That's the truth, man. I wanted to get the people kind of, you know, in touch with what you're doing and do a checkup with you, brother. It's been a while since we sat down to, you know, in session shit. We got to do that more often for sure. Yeah, you know, but Art and Dope Tour, y'all, fall 2022. He's coming to a city near him is really kind of the idea. You know, he's got this fall little thing. It's still work in progress. Pay attention to his Instagram.
If you live in Southern Ontario, I might be coming to a town near you.
There you go.
Ottawa and St. Catharines, that area. Then check my Instagram and stay posted.
Go to dirtyburgerprintshop.com. If you don't, the terrorists win. I don't know. I wanted to say something catchy. We can't use that as catchy as the word terrorism in it. No, let's not do that. Anyways, y'all, this is my dude, Jacob Rolfe, a.k.a. Jacob Columns with the BAM, y'all. How many people ask you to do that? They're like, can we go to BAM? Like, everybody says that, right?
Oh, yeah. I get a lot of BAM requests.
A lot of that. You kind of, I'm not going to ask you to do that. That's just, it seems demeaning. I apologize. But that's the truth of it. Like, I at least want to acknowledge that. But, yeah.
I've got a catchphrase I've accepted. What can you do?
I'm sorry. Oh my God. I wish I lived in Southern Ontario, you guys. I really do. But all right, my tokers, my jokers, my smokers. This has been another amazing edition of the Daily Chronicles with Jacob Rolfe, aka Jacob Collins from Trailer Park Boys and DirtyBurgerPrintShop.com, y'all. Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate you coming on the show, brother. I really do.
Yeah, well, it was a pleasure as always. Thanks for having me, Chef Rodney. Keep up.
Very welcome, man. Welcome anytime, brother. I appreciate you. Well, we'll see you guys on the flip, my people. Peace.